So I am happy and delighted to introduce my guest this morning in our two conversations. Prior to this, we have had so much fun that I think we're going to have fun on this interview too. And we are here to talk about badassery. And Lisa has lessons for you in badassery in her book. And I will let her take it. Maybe introduce your book, Lisa, to the folks out there who want to hear about it. And then we will have a conversation about being a badass.
Have to. This is my book, Portal Tears. I don't know if Moy can do something so you can actually see it. I'm doing this as a visual because I want you to see the waterfall with the woman standing victorious. See, the reason I wanted to show your audience the cover is because the cover is instrumental in what the book is. It's Portal Tears. Portal Tears move you out of one place and into another place.
So it's a door, it's a passage, it's an initiation.
When you stand on the top of a waterfall, I relate that to emotions, like an emotion. Everything is just welling up inside of you, right? You can't think straight. You just have so many emotions. You don't even know what to do with them. And a lot of times, like in my case, I would not cry. Like I was.
You would hold back the waterfall?
Hold back the waterfall.
Lisa, that's not smart.
I learned, and then I wrote a damn book about it. And then you get to the other side where it's nice, calm, peaceful waters, right?
Yes, and I'm thinking of the waterfalls that I have been in, sweetheart. It is painful. Those are like little bullets when you go through a waterfall. Ouch, ouch, ouch. It hurts. They're intense. So the passage is cleansing, but it's intense and it hurts. Is that fair?
Definitely.
Okay.
Yes. And I noticed that with the women that I work with, I make women cry. I'll probably make you cry at some point today.
I already made you cry. Nanny, nanny, boo, boo.
Nice. I had to go back and learn. I had to go back and heal myself and learn what is the inner wound inside of me that I was completely unable to cry. I will rage in a heartbeat, past tense, right? And I would turn to rage.
Oh, God, I just got something. A download. Your fire was out of balance with your water. You had no water to give, but you had plenty of fire. So your balance was completely out. Wow. Wow. You had all ha, but no ta.
Roberta, you and I speak the same language.
I know. It's why we love each other.
And, it was my mom because I'm all about going back to the past to find out, is there an inner wound in there that needs to be healed? And my mom said to me, you were born unable to cry. My whole face would get red. I'd clench my fist like this.
Whoa, Lisa. So it's I would say past life. You came in with a samskara, a scar somewhere that you did something.
But then went a step further. My mom said I was born with a hernia and the doctors did not know that. And because my intestine was all bunched up, it hurt to cry. It fucking hurt. Can I say the F word on here?
Yeah, you can say anything you want. We're going to get kicked off of YouTube one day anyway. Maybe you'll be my first.
You are the gangsta guru. I'm allowed to, be myself, be free. But if not, that's okay.
No, be real. No, be real. Seriously. I'm getting real from you anyway, so I don't think I have to encourage you in that direction. I think you're out of control real. You've owned your badassery and like you're not letting go of the wheel, right? ain't nobody gonna give this, nobody gonna get a hold of this wheel. Motherfucker.
Tornadoes, hurricanes can hit me, fires, earthquakes, volcanoes. I'm not letting go of my badassery wheel. A badass woman empowered chingona.
Yeah, but doesn't it have a ring to it? When you say it in Spanish, it's so much like more powerful. Yeah. Whoa, chingona.
You know what, Roberta? I might just change the name of my coaching program, which is called Babes, Badass Bitches Empowered, to Chingona.
Chingon that or make that your battle cry. Chingona! You open your meetings with a
Even better. What you see right now is not what I used to be like growing up. I was bullied. I was told, shh, people are looking. Don't talk so loud. Don't speak so loud. Don't draw attention to yourself.
Yeah, too. Catholic. Catholic, you can imagine. And my father's favorite term when I was little, don't show your ass. That would be bad. Don't show your ass. Because I literally was showing my ass, right?
Yeah. And I feel like a lot of women hear this growing up, right? Maybe I hope it's changing. Like, I know I'm not raising my daughter to be that way. I'm like, don't ever let anyone tell you you're too much. You're never too much.
I know, I'm too far in the other direction now, you know. It's like, watch for me. Like, don't give off the chingona vibe. Vibra chingona. You know, this morning I believe in symbols and gifts, and I want to hold this up to the camera. This is the ultimo, the last guayaba, the last guava from the tree. It is a deeply feminine symbol. Check it out. It's a symbol of the divine feminine. And, you know, I love the tarot for the symbology. I love Carl Jung for the symbology. I love your portal for the symbology, because the symbols speak deeper than our intellect, deeper than our mind. They speak to our soul. They are the language of dreams. They are the powerful language of dreams. And in every woman is a guayaba that wants to talk. Chingona! Chingona, I'm coming out, right? Right. Mexican women, in my experience, I've only been here a year, are very empowered. Let me tell you a couple of things that shock me. Mexican women do not give up their family name, nor do their children. They keep the maiden name, and they don't take a brand and become owned by... A lot of our things are patriarchal, and they're subtle, and they're not spoken. Like giving away your name. You give away your whole fucking identity. Who are you? You're branded with his name. You belong to him, you're chattel. I don't like that, okay? But in Mexico, no. They don't know that. It's a part of the culture that they keep their names, and the kids have two names. Yeah, I love it.
Yeah, you know, it's funny that you say that. You just jarred my memory of after I got married, and like I willingly took my husband's name and was happy to do so.
Like you do.
However, I had this like weird identity crisis after, like changing the license, changing all my stuff over. Suddenly I was like, who am I? I was Lisa Kopolowski for all these years. Now suddenly I'm Lisa Ceizyk. What does that mean?
Your property. Your property, that's what it means in chattel.
It was crazy. I don't even think, you know, to be quite honest, I don't even think I shared that with any. I'm spilling all my secrets here.
Yeah, for the public, everybody in the world's going to see it. We're going to send it all over the world, Lisa.
I don't even think I ever shared that with anyone. It was just this little voice in my head. This like, well, what does that mean now? And do I act different? What do I do as this wife, as this new person?
Exactly. You were literally had your identity taken away, and it's very subtle. And the power with the owning of the last name, I don't know about, you're still married to your husband, so obviously he adjusted to reality, but my husband never did. I was always his chattel. Do you understand? Subtly. It's very subtle. He never said that, but he had the power. Oh, I need a drink. So let me tell you, this is my breakfast. Shove into him. I haven't had any breakfast. Are you drinking?
This is my moonshine jug.
Oh, moonshine. You know what? This is, oh my God, you trigger so many funny stories, because I was married to a man from Jolton, Tennessee, and his father got busted for making moonshine, really, by the revenuers. But this was ages ago. But me papa told my son the recipe for making moonshine. And Ben, after about 10 or 15 years, one day he was furiously looking for a tape of me, Papa, giving him instructions of how to go into the woods and make moonshine. It's a skill we all might want to learn. This, I got to share with you. This is my new favorite liqueur. It is anise and honey, and it's a Mayan liqueur. It is delicious.
Lover. I love
Well, do you love sambuca and do you love anisette?
Yes.
Oh, okay, this is even better because it's made with honey from bees. It's a Mayan version of anisette with honey. I don't know, maybe you come to Cozumel. I give you some. So anyway, so many funny stories. We even have anisette in common. I'm starting to get a little freaked out with you, girl. Too many things in common.
Well, I do want to say something about, because you posed a question to me that I thought it was a great question, is what does it even mean to be a badass?
Ah, good. Yeah.
And it is a word that's sort of thrown around a lot. And, I started thinking about that. And what I realized was you cannot be a badass unless you've gone through hell and back.
Yes.
Right?
Badass skills are learned in hell. Yes. Sorry, ladies.
It's so true. And my book, Portal Tears, is basically, Roberta, it's basically my story of how I became a badass. And how did I become a badass? I had a lot of shit thrown at me.
Yes, trial by fire. Yes.
But switch that perspective, right? Because I don't want to be a victim. I don't want to be in this victim mode.
Yes.
And you know this full well after listening to your whole episode on your journey, your healing journey. You know full well that you have to step into badassery after you've gone through the horridness, right? And then you realize it actually all happened for you, not to you.
Yes. Hell is an initiation for women. There's a very good book that helped me understand this. It's called Descent to the Goddess by Sylvia Brinton Pereira. She's a Jungian analyst, and she talks about the goddess Inanna and descending the 7 gates of hell. Every gate, something is ripped off of her like Velcro. At the end, she's in the bowels of hell, hanging on a meat hook, just a chunk of flesh. But that's the poem. It's the epic poem, a Sumerian epic. It's a beautiful book, but I have come to understand those initiations as stages and steps. You've got to go to the bowels of hell to become a chingona. Seriously. And then you come up and nobody fucks with you.
Unfuckwithable.
Yeah, exactly.
But that is so true. The way you said it was so beautiful, Roberta.
Thank you.
The bowels of hell. Chingona rises, right?
Exactly. Chingona rising.
I never saw myself as a badass. Like I didn't like go around saying I'm a badass, right? And I lost 80 pounds. This is all in the book. I lost 80 pounds. I became a fitness director.
Wow.
And I, like, overnight, this happened, right? Gym class loser, couldn't even do a sit-up, all of a sudden is a fitness director and running, in charge of like thousands of people coming through this program. And everyone in that program, usually the women, right, are like, you're such a badass. I want to be like you. I want to be like you.
Go down to hell and get your ass kicked and come talk to me then.
I was like, why do they think I'm such a badass, right?
Yeah.
And it wasn't honestly until like I wrote the book and went through all this, and then they read it, and then they came back to me with feedback and they said, oh my God, now I see why you're a badass.
Ah, so you wrote a book. Your book is about your personal descent into hell to claim your badass bitch. She was resting in hell waiting for you all this time.
She was rusty. She was almost, limbs were falling off. Head was like lopsided. And it was so interesting to me and it was eye-opening for them too, because they said, oh my gosh, I didn't realize that you became a badass. Like you didn't just born a badass.
Yeah, exactly. It's like stripes. It's like earning your stripes in the army, Okay, I can do that. I can, okay. Throw one at me. Yeah, yeah. But now God has a sense of humor. God's not finished. Like, you don't get to you never finished becoming a badass. It's like a process. So you're a badass at one level, maybe one stripe, and God says, okay, you're ready for the next initiation, and sends you something so fucking horrific, you can't believe it. Yeah, I mean, pretty much that's my experience. It's a cycle. Yeah?
As you know, I was listening to your journey and your recovery and everything after the stroke, and I was like, yeah, you get it. And you were saying how, like you're different now. Like, I love the way you said, like, you look better after the stroke. I don't know what you looked like before the stroke, but I believe that you look better because inside you're better, you're stronger. Because of everything you went through, it's now showing up on the outside as this radiant.
So you exude it from the inside. Some men actually find it in attractive. Think about that. Some men find it attractive, but then they want to conquer it. Yes, they like the badass woman, but then they want to assert poder over the woman. Yeah? And then some men run like hell. You know? Like, get me away from that
bitch. It's so true. Actually, what you just said literally happened to me, that I was at the top of I had lost 80 pounds, took me 2 years. I had conquered a death sentence. The doctor told me I was going to die an early death if I didn't lose weight, because I had high blood pressure, diabetes, high triglycerides, all of that, right? I conquered that. I was in this brand new career, the top of my game.
Oh my God.
Strong. And a person from my past came back. He was someone I'd known since high school, someone I trusted implicitly. And he was an executive producer. And he was like, oh, I want to make you a star and blah, 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 all this stuff, right? Basically, what he set out to do, though, was to put me higher, higher, higher on that pedestal. So when I came down, it would cause like brain damage. It would cause me to go even further to the depths of hell.
So he wanted to conquer you. He was one of those who were attracted to the chingona, but only because they want to knock you off your pedestal eventually. I believe this, that when I was somnambulent for 3 weeks, I had a conversation with God. I was not coming back. I was perfectly happy where I was. Leave me the fuck alone. I'm happy. I don't know where I am, but I'm happy. And so after about 3 weeks, God ruled, obviously, and sent my ass back. But we had a conversation. God, you know I'm a woman. You know I'm Italian. And you know I like to argue. You already know these things. You made me that way. Okay? So let's have a conversation, God. And this was the conversation. Number one, if I return, God, I have conditions. These are my conditions. Number one, I look better than I looked before the stroke. Number two, I get a new wardrobe. Well, I got a new wardrobe, all right. I couldn't fucking dress myself. I couldn't do buttons and snaps. And so I have stretchy, And the last one was I walk. Because I said, God, look down there. Look at that shit show. You're going to make me go back there when I'm perfectly happy where I am? Okay? I'm happy. Leave me alone. But I went back with those conditions. And also God sends you back without marching orders. And you know this is true because, Lisa, do you want to tell them a clip about your mom? Are you comfortable sharing a little bit about your mom? Okay.
Yeah, so my mom had a stroke about a month and a half ago. And it's just been going downhill ever since the stroke. Lung collapsed, bowel obstruction, anemic, just one thing after another. And when her lung collapsed, she had to wear this horrible, it was like a scuba diving helmet. I forget what it's called, the technical term, BiPAP or something.
It's okay, I have the visual.
and it clamps down. Mm-hmm. And for anyone, that's scary, right? My mom is like me, very claustrophobic. And one night she had to wear it at night because when she falls asleep, that's when it would happen. And the one night she said, I can't do it. Like, I am not wearing that thing one more night. Yeah. And I'm going to stay awake all night. That's hard to do for anyone, right? To stay awake all night, much less a person person who has a stroke and a collapsed lung.
And how old is your mom? How old is your mom? 70?
5.
75. Okay.
So she said, okay, I'm going to do this, right? So she is laying there trying to stay awake. And Jesus came to her. She heard Jesus's voice and he said, I've got you. You're going to rest tonight. I've got you. And she was in shock that Jesus was there. And she knew his voice too. This gives me chills to say it. Because I said, Mom, how did you know it was Jesus? Did he say, hi, I'm Jesus? And he said, well, where do you want to go? And she said, I want to go to the river, my son's river. They have a beautiful property in Georgia on the river. And Jesus said, take me there. And they went there and they sat around the fire like we always do. She said, all of us were there with Jesus. And then she woke up in the morning. She didn't wake up. I say wake up. I don't know even know how to describe it, right? When she was gone, she said, all of a sudden Jesus was just gone. She was gone from the river and suddenly the sun is up. What she didn't know though, is that night, I say prayers every night and I was begging God and Jesus, please stay with my mom because I thought she was going to have to wear that horrible breathing helmet.
Right.
And I asked Jesus, please be with my mom tonight when she is wearing that helmet. Give her peace, give her comfort, give her the strength that she needs to get. Do not leave her side tonight. I'm having chills right now as I'm saying this still.
Yes.
And he did not. I believe, like you said, she came back. It was not her time. And you're the one that made me realize this, Roberta, that God and Jesus want her to share her story.
And that's why it's important for you to tell her story because miracles do happen. In fact, I think that miracles are the way of life if we get out of our own way. If we believe that if we call Jesus, as you did when you were praying fervently to him, yes, he does hear you.
I'm running outside. I dropped to my knees on the concrete, sobbing, begging God and Jesus, please let me hear my mom's voice at least one more time. One more time. And never hearing her voice again devastated me to my soul, to my core to never hear that. And 15 minutes later, my dad gets a call from the hospital. We were able to, they put that horrible helmet thing on her, okay? But it stopped her from being intubated. And since then, I've had multiple conversations with my mom. She's still in the hospital. But I've been able to not just hear her voice, but actually have conversations with her. You know, as a former stroke, survivor, victim, that's huge when you can actually speak and people can hear what you're saying and you can have a conversation. That's a miracle right there.
Yes, yes, miracles. Your mom has had many miracles. Now, I have encouraged Lisa, being the badass that I am, to write her next book. And it's going to be stories of women, empowered women who have had badasses. And chapter 1 is going to be Lisa's mom. Because when this woman had a stroke, she said, the doctors are saying you'll never walk again, you're never going to do this, you're never, 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 never. Fuck you guys. Just shut up. You don't know what you're talking about. What did your mom say? She didn't say fuck you guys. I know that.
She did call one of the nurses or something an asshole, which
she did. Now that's chingona. That's chingona. But the first chapter is about your mom. Here's to your mom. What's her name? I'm drinking. What's her name?
Here, cheers.
Here's to Chris. Here we go.
Chris. I want you to end this with I will tell you one of my best quick and dirty badass shticks. What is one of your best quick and dirty badass tricks that you can teach women in a minute?
To not be afraid of fear, that you cannot be brave, right, without having fear. Joan of Arc, she started off afraid. Every fucking warrior, chinganga, badass, bitch empowered, started off afraid. Gave him the chance to be brave.
Okay, best advice. Go through the fear, because on the other side of it is your power. My best badass trick, and I want anybody who's dealing with a loved one in a hospital, especially now in this pandemania that we live in, is this. I was the medical power of attorney for my father, whom I loved very much. And they didn't always give my dad the care that I wish that they did. And if you talk with them, they just kind of blow you off, right? So I'm Jungian at heart, and I believe in symbols. So this is the cheapest lawsuit you will ever get. I bought a yellow legal pad, and I would walk into my father's room. I would never say lawyer. I would never say suit. I would never say I'm going to sue you. I would just ask this question: what is your name, and what did you do to help my father today? Well, that little nurse didn't want to take the rap. So she got the next nurse, who got the next doctor, who got the head of the fucking hospital. You will get to the head of the hospital because nobody wants to take a responsibility. All you do is say, who are you? What's your name? And how did you help my father today, or my mother? And you just scribble away. You never say, I'm going to sue your ass. Why? The yellow legal pad says it all. It is a symbol that strikes terror into the hearts of those who need to be accountable for your loved ones. That's my badass shtick for the day.
My dad always taught me to ask people's name like that because it does keep them accountable. But adding in the legal pad.
Yeah, it's a symbol. And just start writing. And how did you help my mother today? What did you do to help my mother? Well, if they didn't do shit, they're going to send you to the next higher supervisor. Like, there's a woman out there taking notes on a legal pad. Rah, rah, rah. Scare them. You know, my motto is, don't be afraid of them. Make them afraid of you. No.
Roberta, you are a true badass. And I'm glad, I know you wanted to stay where you were, but I'm glad that you're here with me right now today.
Yes, me too. I don't know what God had in mind for me, but when I was out for 3 weeks, I do know this. God took away my fear filters. Like, I had filters that would say, like, your little voice is like, oh, don't do that. They won't like you. Or don't say that. You'll hurt their feelings, or whatever. I was raised Italian Catholic. Guilt is a default program for us, So, you have to override all that shit. Or override it, integrate it, and use it for your own power. Yeah? I think we'll have another conversation. Look for Lisa's next book. It's going to be a compendium of badass stories. I promise you. Right? From all the badass bitches. Yeah.
Roberta, definitely a chapter in that book.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm happy to. And I'll even give you a title. Chingona Rising.
Ooh, I love it.
I wish I could think of a title for my book, but no, I have one for yours.
Easier, right? To help someone else, I feel like.
Okay. Lisa, you are a gem. Come to Cozumel and visit me. Yeah, I'm serious.
I would love to. I can't thank you enough for having me on today. It means so much to me.
Yes. Yeah, me too. And tell your mom I am open. I have Stroke Sisters, Lucky Zen, who's one of my videos in Kerala. His wife had a stroke, and we're Stroke Sisters. We have a secret club.
I love that. I'm going to tell her that. Yeah, that will mean so much to her. Thank you, Roberta.
Okay, much love, many blessings.